Warning. The thoughts and views and opinions of guests and hosts are just thoughts and views and opinions of an entertainment podcast. Not to be taken serious or to heart, only for granted like my previous lovers. I am not a professional, I just play one on the show. So please enjoy, or not. I do not control you no matter how cool I sound. Enjoy. Deuces.
Welcome.
No special characters.
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Carried away with the sniper rifle.
That's a huge red flag. First of all, don't walk past me, stare me up and down, and then go commit a crime, right? That hurts my feelings. I don't think so. What time is it? Oh, it's business time. It's business o'clock. Let's fucking go. Welcome back, beautiful people, to another episode. No special characters. I am your host, Jose Luis, aka
On my cool J.
aka aka Mr. Big. And I can't forget the new one. Where's it at? There it goes, right there.
Go back to your 9 to 5, bitch ass nigga.
And we are here. Another fun episode to record. And in case you didn't know where you were, we are at
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
You're listening to
Special characters.
This is culturally inappropriate.
You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you.
I know a gentleman that's going to be a big part of an upcoming...
Here I come. Oh, here I come.
I can't help it
custom
that I'm custom made.
all the
We have an
time.
emergency contact on
Hey,
my cool J.
that is I. I believe we're on episode 189. And thank you for tuning in for another fun episode. I really do appreciate you guys for showing up. And I don't know where I want to start. My week was kind of like all over the place. I know the last couple episodes I've been giving you about like things that's going on at work, but this week I was dealing with more stuff on the outside. So let me see. All right, I'm gonna keep it work. So I know I normally talk about work, but I'm gonna still talk about work without talking about work. No. It could wait off. So what I do want to say is shout out to the nerds. Thank you, nerds, for being very helpful out there. All right? I guess bullying you guys helped to motivate you guys to do video of nerdy things so you can help us bullies in the future. So thank you. Somebody's looking at me right now like, I'm pretty sure I used to bully you. You probably did, but wasn't a nerd. So, yeah. So this week, after a long day, I get home and turn on the PS5. I was playing for like 30 minutes and it's turned off. I was like, that's weird. My PS5 has never done that before. None of my PlayStations have ever done that before. I have every PlayStation that came out. That's never happened before. So I was like, okay. Disconnected it, re-put it back together, turned it on, another 30 minutes, off. And I'm like, the fuck is happening? So I get to Googling, and they brought me to this beautiful thing called YouTube, created by nerds. Google, created by nerds. And I'm seeing a bunch of people with glasses. You're gonna be like, you normally wear glasses too. Not today, bitch. There goes monetization. But yeah. And they're all talking like this. So the reason your PlayStation 5 is overheating is because it's probably mass dust buildup, or you probably need to restore your license, or you need to reboot the whole system. And I'm like, okay, I could do with all three of those, whatever. So upon watching the YouTube videos, going down the rabbit hole, and I'm over here like, damn, shout out to these guys. Once again, because they already showed me steps play by play how to take apart the PlayStation, which wasn't going to be hard to figure out. The only thing, the nerdy thing that annoyed me with that was that it wasn't a normal like screwdriver. I had to use a TR8. That's nerd jargon for a screwdriver, but for computers and shit like that. So I was like, okay. Now, I was able to take apart my PlayStation with ease, clean it, and I was like, all right, it should be fine. But I was like, let's do more. Let's do more. Let's do more. So I ended up restoring the license on the 3 games that I play, and I ended up rebooting the system just to make sure that I just checked everything off the bucket list. So I was like, the bucket list. So yeah. And I must say, thank you guys. Thank you very much. Because when I was growing up, like there's things in life. All right. So you guys got to understand that I'm before the internet. So there's things in life that if you couldn't find a manual for it, you couldn't find the proper documentation for it, you're pretty much freestyling whatever happens in your life, right? Like I had a car. Which car was it? No. I had a 2018 Forester, right? And there was things that would go wrong with it. Because I bought it in the first year and I was just being cheap. I didn't want to take it to the dealership so they could charge me whatever dumbass amount, which was annoying. But I'm like, okay, we can figure this out. There has to be something on the internet. And around that time, the car was so new that there was literally nothing on the internet for me to figure out. Nobody figured out a way to bypass things. And it's like, wow, okay. I'm either going to have to freestyle this and probably trigger something in the computer system, or I'm just going to have to like figure this shit out myself. So like I said, I'm before the internet. So like my first car that I got was a 1996 Acura Integra, right? And it had my airbag light on. The airbag light was on because it was in a car accident before I bought it, and whoever fixed the car never reset the light. So instead of going to the dealership to go, hey, let me go, I'll give you money to turn this light off, which would cost $300, $400. It ended up costing me nothing because I looked up a YouTube video and it was like, well, if you get under your steering wheel, you could disconnect the airbag light and you could trip it with these 2 wires, a red and a black wire, and just put it in the prongs and it'll trip it and it'll reset the light for you. Cool. So I was like, great. So this is nerd appreciation for you guys, because without you guys or people that are just get into the nitty gritty, figure it out. And you guys be like, we're not nerds, we just do. I'm like, you guys are nerds too, right? You're just nerds in whatever field you're in, whatever, as mechanics, plumbing, electrician, and shit like that. Like I'm a nerd when it comes to electronics. I know how to like just things like my board, I would take it apart and figure it out. Like that's what my mom used to know me for. Like when I was growing up, like if my Walkman would break, if my radio would break, best believe I was taking it apart and figuring it out. Somewhere along the line, I lost that art, but that was my thing. I used to love taking things apart and fixing it. So I was like, oh, okay. But like I said, shout out to you guys. Wow, I felt like that was a weird way to start the show, but all right, whatever. So, yeah. So, let's get into some gangster shit. Let me stop. So, upon the Memorial Day weekend, I went out to go eat, and I went to go try out some food at a spot that I never had before. It was kind of like Korean-style chicken sandwiches. So, it was like, okay, whatever. And before I get to walk into this beautiful establishment, regular, and got to sit down and order my food, there was a man standing in front of the facility. And you guys know how much I hate that. When there's just people standing in front of a place to go beg for money, it's like, yo, fam, stand in the corner. In the corner, I'm more likely to give you some money instead of you harassing people at the front of the spot. So I had to get past this guy that was in front of the door, and he's like, hey, do you have any money that you can give me? I was like, looked at him dead in his face, and I was like, no, I can't. Not a single cent, not a dollar, not nothing. Because I know for 1,000% of a fact, he's been out there all day asking for money and he has yet to buy any goddamn food. That was one. Two, he was like harassing teenage kids. This man's in his 40s, maybe 50s, and he's over there harassing kids. So I'm over here watching it upon my walk into the store, and I'm like, all right, I got to deal with this bullshit. And this man's over there like, hey, do you think I could get some money? Da, 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 da. I was like, no, don't got a cent to give you. Sorry, bro. Good luck. And I went to go proceed to order my food. All right. So instead of leaving it there, like, all right, he said no, whatever. This man proceeded to stare at me through the glass while I ordered my food, while I sat down waiting for my food, staring at me. through the glass. And then he saw me get my food, still staring at me. Like he was trying to either guilt trip me or he was mad that I wasn't going to give him no money. And then I proceed to move closer to the glass. So, because if you want the show, I'm just giving you the show for free. I'm gonna get a little bit closer to the glass. You can see me. I was at the point where I was gonna go step outside and eat it in front of his face. Pause. So this man was just like looking at me like, how dare you? How dare you be hungry and eat food in front of me? Yeah, that was the whole purpose of my leaving the house today, was to go to this one spot and eat food. That was my only genuine purpose. I had no other plans that day but to, hey, I saw this place on Instagram. I want to go try it out. I want to go see what it's like. And you are not going to deter me from eating my food or guilt tripping me to give you $1 so you could do whatever you want with that dollar. So it was just like too funny. So then, while I'm sitting down enjoying my food, my niece is in the area. And my niece is with, she was like on a movie date. So I just let her know that, hey, I'm going to be in your area. If you need a ride back, let me know. Cool. So I'm over here in a staring contest eating my food. I'm losing, by the way, because I'm eating my food. It was quite delicious. And here comes my niece and her friend. And he's like, hey, can I get $1? And they're like, no, sorry. You guys don't got to. I was like, yo, they good. So once he saw me respond for them, he doesn't know that my niece is with me. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know that the little girl that just walked in is my niece, and that's her friend. So he just thinks I'm being spiteful. And I go, are you hungry? She goes, I can eat food. Cool. Get whatever you want. Her friend, you hungry too? Here, you want something? No, I eat something. I was like, well, if you want to pick at my food too, go ahead, pick at this food, or you could get whatever you want. So now it looks like I'm balling, like I'm handing out money to everybody but this guy. And now he's like looking at me even more intense with like some like with disgust that I'm feeding the youth. It was like kind of funny because I was like, he doesn't think this is my niece because my niece is paler than me. She's of a lighter complexion. She looks white. So it just looks like I'm helping a white girl eat food instead of helping my own outside of the street. So he's just looking at me and like, oh, this motherfucker. Like, you ever seen somebody put their hands up like, oh, really, bro? So it was like one of those moments. And I'm like, okay. So my niece goes and she was like, hey, this homeless man is like really angry and looking at you. I was like, I know. She was like, are you guys okay? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. He's mad I didn't give him $1. And my niece was like, well, you should probably give him $1. No, my $1 just went to you guys. I just fed you guys, right? She was like, oh, okay. So upon leaving, they're leaving the store. And I opened the door for them. And he's like, hey, man, I thought you didn't. And I'm like, yo, shut up. And I was like, come on, girls. Come on, guys. Let's go. Let's get the fuck out of here. And then he noticed, like, oh, okay, we all know each other. I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm just not out here giving people money all willy-nilly. That's how you become homeless, good sir, especially in this economy. Jesus Christ. But it was like, this is a lot to deal with. Like, he was like straight up grilling me, like death stare, like, you're not gonna give me $1. I hope you choke on your food. And I was like, all right, okay. Speaking of this economy, on my way to work, I noticed a horrible car accident. It was really bad. Not as bad as in like there was fatalities, people were injured. It wasn't that bad, but it was pretty bad. So on my last quarter mile to my job, I was at a red light and I was next to this beautiful Lamborghini Aventador, whatever, however you pronounce that. I'm not a Lamborghini person like that, but it was beautiful. I can acknowledge beauty when I see it. And it was like this orangey like it was like a glow orange. That shit was fire. And I'm looking at this guy and he's looking at me and my piece of shit Subaru. And I'm like, hey, guy. He's like, hey, buddy. And I'm like, yeah. Oh, my watch kind of matched his car. I was wearing this watch, right? So I'm out here, hand out my window. He's like this. He's like this. And I'm like, hey, blah, 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 explaining pleasantries and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, no. No. My car didn't move. My car didn't jerk. But the Lamborghini shook violently forward. And all I could think of, somebody just rear-ended this fucking car. Somebody just rear-ended this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful car. Somebody just ruined this guy's day. He was probably out on a leisurely stroll. He's probably going to 7-Eleven, getting some coffee, a pack of Newports, whatever. He was going somewhere. He didn't look like he was going to work. He just looked like he was chilling in the Lambo. And somebody that probably wasn't paying attention, probably on their phone texting, too anxious to get to wherever they're going, wasn't paying attention, and they made the most costly mistake they could do. They're going to learn a lesson forever. What they just did was put their family in generational debt. All right. That's the most craziest thing. Like when I'm driving, I don't know if you guys are conscious like this, but I'm conscious like this. But whenever I'm driving anywhere, guess what? That's an expensive car. I'm going to get the fuck away from them. I'm going to get away from them. I'm going to get away from this. I'm going to get away from that yours. I'm going to get away from that Tesla. I'm going to get away from that M3. I'm going to get away from that M5. There's just cars I'm staying the hell away from. I'm going to get away from that Maybach. I don't want to be nowhere near that Maybach. I know I didn't take off enough insurance policy to pay for whatever damages it is to fix that car. So I stayed the hell away from it. So this person was driving, and it was like a young person too, like let's say 25, 30 years old. Sir, I don't think you know what you just did. I don't think you just know what you just did. And then they had the nerve to get out the car mad. Like we weren't still at a red light. The light was still red. So I'm like, he's like, oh, come on, man. And I'm like, I know you didn't say that. At that point, I was already arguing. Cars were beeping at me because I was like, yo, you can't yell at him. You just dead ass just hit him for no goddamn reason. He's over here parked. We're waiting for the fucking red. And you're over here speeding like a dickhead. And all I could just think was, I Googled that car once in my life. I don't know if the number is still the same. So that car was discontinued, like let's say 4 years ago, 22. I think 2022, 23, 24, 25, 26. Yeah, let's say 4 years ago, right? 22? Yeah, I think so. So that car ranges from 300,000 to 1.5 million, depending on the model, right? That's what it ranges from. You see how that 300, that's a lot still. To a regular person like me and you, that's still a lot. $300,000. I don't have $300,000 to give away, depending on how hard he hit him, how much damage it took. Was there any damage to the frame? You know, the engine's in the back. Did you do any damage to the engine? They're going to total that shit. Your insurance is never going to lower your premium ever again in your life. It doesn't matter. You can leave them and go to different insurances. It's never going to lower. Your family insurance is going up. Your neighbor's insurance is going up. Wherever the fuck you live, you just raised the insurance for everybody in that section for hitting that car. I want you to know that, all right? Your ex's insurance is going up. Your dog insurance is going up, all right? Your goldfish insurance, everybody that's insured anywhere near you with the same, anybody that has your name, the insurance is going up. Anybody that has your first name, anything similar to your last name, you are cooked, bro, sub. You are done. You are just... You're not in a good position, buddy. You're kind of screwed out here. So, yeah, that was the most like, whoa. I thought I was having a bad day. No. You're about to have the bad rest of your life. Because I know when you call your insurance, you hit a what? You hit a what? Like, holy shit, bro. You're done. You're donezo. Yeah, so good luck to that guy and his lineage. We're going to get out of that section because we're going to go to another high performance, expensive section that we're going to talk about. And we're going to go to the movie review section.
Oh boy, over the top.
And this movie that I'm going to review this week will be Gran Turismo. Yes, Gran Turismo that came out a couple of years ago. Yes, I'm speaking about that Gran Turismo with people that do acting. There was only two famous actors, the guy that played Vlad and the guy that plays Hopper. I don't know their names, but you once I said those names, you guys be like, all right, like who's Vlad? Like DJ Vlad? No, Vladimir Putin. No, I'm playing Vladimir the Impaler, the guy that played Dracula, the new Dracula, the cool one. So did I review that movie? I actually like that movie. That movie is pretty decent. So Gran Turismo is a movie about this guy that takes this crazy idea to put a person that races on the internet, a simulated driver, and put him on the real life track. And it was a good movie. I liked it. I did like it a lot. I don't know when they did that. I was just telling my cousin about it. I saw it. I was like, yo, I think he would have been perfect for that movie. I think my cousin's a great driver. I think not the glaze, but I think he's pretty good at a lot of shit that he does when it comes to video gaming. So it's like, all right, it's like he's a natural or some shit. Like he was like destined for that shit or something. And it was pretty cool watching this movie. And I was like, wow, they really took a chance on a normal person to go compete. And they were giving away Nissan GTRs like they was candy. They took like 5 people to go learn how to drive on the track and then see if they could handle all the force that their body would be taking. Pause. From all the G force, that didn't sound better. For that their body would be taking while driving these cars, that they can maneuver, they have the endurance and all this stuff. And I was like, yo, this is pretty dope. I like this. Would have I qualified for that if I was driving that? Probably not. It's been fat my whole life. Believe it or not, I used to be bigger. So yeah. So I'm over here watching this movie and I'm like, this is fire. I like it. And apparently there was a car accident in the movie that happened in real life. I think they just like embellished how the accident happened, even though it did happen. I don't think it happened with him. I think it happened with somebody else, but it was okay. So let me see what I wrote. So what I wrote was, this movie kind of gives hope, right? I guess they would be called streamers now, but this movie kind of gives hope to people to like chase what they love, to do what they love, because there's a chance, that 1 in a million chance, that it could be you that gets called upon to go do something that you want to do. And that's dope. That's dope as hell. So yeah. And a lot of people, you guys may not know this, but there's people that do these games, like the driving games, or like me, I do the skating game, or I do Call of Duty and all this stuff. Now, I've shot a gun in real life and I've driven cars. What your boy can't do, I can't do a tray flip. Can't do a tray flip. But in the video game, I could tray flip the shit out of anything. Just can't do a fucking 1440 for whatever reason. But in real life, can't even make a 180. So yeah. It just gives cool ideas. Like, oh, maybe if I do stick to this, maybe there's something will happen. Maybe something fire would happen out of the situation. So that's what the movie does for me. The movie did so good and I liked it so much that I ended up re-downloading Gran Turismo because I bought the game when it first came out. So I ended up doing my license. I ended up just doing all these things. I had my cousin helping me tune the cars. So it was like, great. And I liked that a lot. But I also got to thinking. I was like, hey, they could never do that today. They legit can't do that today. Like you legit had to do it in that time frame, which was in the early 2000s, maybe the late 90s, whenever they did it. But you can't do that in today's day and age. 1, 2, you know damn well they discriminated against fat people. Because I'm pretty sure the people that mostly played the game were fat people, right? They went and found this beautiful young man to go play this actor. And he was like, hey, this guy looks like the ideal person to do this game. And it's like, all right, the ideal person to do this game looks like me, all right? I would never fit in a F1 car. I would never fit in the whatever car they used at what's that at the Le Mans race. Yeah, I would never fit in that car. I don't even think I could fit in a GTR. So imagine, especially me at this young ass weight that I'm in right now. I'm like 198 pounds right now, bro. I used to be 245 pounds in that time frame. So it's like, I know I wouldn't be able to fit that at all. So it's just like, yeah, you can't do that in this day and age because there's most likely a chud or a chudette that's really good at the game and they wouldn't be able to fit in any of those cars. They wouldn't have passed the endurance test. They wouldn't have passed the online requirements. Like, hey, are you healthy? Define healthy. So it was like, great. And then I was thinking, what other games could have did it? And then I figured, hey, I'm pretty sure Call of Duty already did it, but they just didn't tell us. I'm pretty sure war companies use games to bring in young people like 13, 14, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds into the, hey, do you want to fly a drone and blow some things up? And I'm pretty sure there was a news story that I talked about a couple of years ago about that. We're like, hey, they were looking at this company that were like having people fly drones to places that look realistic. Like, hey, that really looks like a real place in Iraq. Hey, that person is not running like an NPC. That person is pleading and begging for their life. We never heard an NPC really plead and beg for their life and sound so goddamn realistic. And then take the game away. So I was like, I'm pretty sure they have done that. I'm pretty sure they made a movie about it called Ender's Game, where it's like, hey man, we just trick these people thinking it's a game, and it's not really a game. We're just using your strategy to use in real life applications and go kill people. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the times they've been studying how some of the best players work, and I was like, all right, we're gonna train an operator to move like you. So yeah, the biggest thing that they were saying in Gran Turismo, the reason they won't work with a simulator, and I guess it wouldn't work for Call of Duty or like Skate, is because you can't reset. So there's a high possibility that you're gonna get injured trying to do whatever you're gonna do, because you're gonna be at the mind frame like, oh, well, I could just always start over. Yeah, it don't always work like that. So that's what made this movie dope. That's the concept of the movie that I liked. That was dope. The concept of that guy that took the ball, that had the balls to go to corporations and pitch that was dope. The people that gave it a chance was a dope. I like that a lot. So yeah. Did I once talk about this movie so far? No, not really. But yeah. All this movie did was just give me a new respect for this game. Because I played GT before and I was like, all right, this just seems like a boring simulator game. And then watching the movie and it gave more insight. And then I'm like over here, my cousin will always talk about the game. He's like, oh man, we would just do this, we would just do that. You know, we just go to see it. Then Ben would say the same thing, like, oh, I'm just tuning my car. And then his other boy would say the same thing. And they would always talk about tuning the cars, making the cars run faster. My cousin's over here telling me about the tire. Over here, the weight reduction. Over here, use this, use that, do this, do that. And I'm like, great. And I'm like, all of this stuff you're telling me can be used in real world applications. And that's fire. So I was like, this is something, this is not just like a regular, like Call of Duty back in the day would at least tell you about the guns. This gun does this gun does this. This gun is real. This gun isn't real. Call of Duty, like, this is a gun. It goes pew. And I was like, yeah. But if you put half of those guns that are in Call of Duty and give them to regular people, put them in their hands, they wouldn't know what the fuck to do with it. They wouldn't know how to load it. They wouldn't know how to unjam it. They wouldn't know how to put it together, unassemble it. They wouldn't know any of that. Even back then when they used to tell you, hey, you should probably change this, clean this, do that. They used to be able to clean your gun in Call of Duty. They don't do that no more. You used to be able to design your gun in Call of Duty. They don't do that no more. But over here watching this game and / movie, I'm like, in the movie they were like, all right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna change the downforce by changing the wing direction, the wing angle on the back of the car, so we could get more drag force or some shit, whatever he was saying. He was saying some nerdy shit, and I'm like, I called my cousin as soon as I saw that. I was like, you can modify the wing? He's like, nah, you can't do that no more. And I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. I was like, I'm downloading the game. I told him that day. I was like, I'm downloading the game because this movie made me just want to play this game, and I've been playing it for like a week now. So I was like, I want to beat this game now. Now, he goes, nah, you can't do that in the game. Yesterday, he's on the game and I'm watching him and he's like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just like recalibrating how the pistons hit. I was like, this nigga lied to me. He lied to me. I was looking at him like,
Embustera.
I was like, I thought you couldn't modify the engine like that. Apparently you can. But there's just races that he was like, it doesn't matter what you do because whatever race you go to, there's restrictors and nobody's car can be faster than the next person's car unless you're doing a custom lobby, which they do, which is fire too. I like that too. So I was like, okay. But as far as the movie goes, the movie was great. I love the movie. It gave me inspiration to do better, be more, and drive better. All right. I started putting 93 gas in this economy. I'm going to be homeless by the end of the time. By the time I record the next episode, you're going to be like, oh my God, why are you recording out of a fucking alleyway? Because I'm putting 93 in my car, right? But yeah, somebody's like, you don't put 93 in your car? No. I put the worst gas. I put BJ's gas, all right? But yeah. But if you guys are looking for a cool car movie, what I really wanted to watch was F1, but I got to have Apple TV for that. So I saw F1 and I saw Ford versus Ferrari. And I was like, I like that too. Two great racing movies. So yeah, I'm going to get out of this section and let's go over to.
You're listening to.
All right. So where I want to start off, I guess this is a high speed episode because it's been about cars this whole episode so far. New York to required speed limiting devices for super speeders under new law. See, I have mixed reviews for this. One, I am for this. So the thing is, if you have more than 16 speeding infractions, whether it's a speed camera or getting pulled over, they want to put a speed limiter in your car. I don't have a problem with that at all. That's 16 tickets for speeding is a lot. It's a lot of tickets. So my thing is, my whole fight for this is going to be, if the city wasn't so money hungry, if the city wasn't doing everything to take away cars, if you guys haven't been listening to the last couple episodes, I've been saying, hey, they want to reduce points on your license. And if you do this too many times, then you get your shit suspended or revoked or whatever it works. So it's like, that's weird. Then there's like, well, a couple years before that, if you have tints, you can't get a New York State inspection, which means you can't register the car. You can't keep the car until you remove it. Back in the day, you get your ticket, you go to court. Did you get it removed? Hell yeah, I did. And you're like, Scout's honor. No, you can't do that no more. So I was like, okay. It just seems like a bunch of money hungry, greedy tactics from New York State. And it's like, I can't get behind something. We have speeding cameras on every block in Queens, red light cameras every block in Queens. But in Nassau, there's a speeding camera every 5 or 6 towns over. There's barely ever one after the other. In Queens, to get to my house, if you're coming from Elmont to here, you're hitting 3 to 4 speeding cameras and 2 traffic lights, 2 red light cameras. So it's like, yo, what the fuck? But it's like, when you cross the border, there'll be like a red light camera every 5-6 miles in. And it's like, that's crazy. That's the most craziest thing. So, yeah. So let me see if I got audio for this lady.
This is another area where I'm surprised at the controversy around it when it makes so much sense. You think about someone, I'm going to ask these gentlemen here, if someone gets 16 speeding tickets in a year, would you consider that an excess speeder? And that's not normal, right, guys? I mean, they're just looking for an accident. They're looking to end up in this repair shop. So what we said, we have to protect people. There's pedestrians, there's moms pushing strollers, there's people on bikes, there's kids going to school. We have to protect people. And if someone is so flagrantly violating the laws that there's a callous disregard of human life, is the only way I can describe it, there have to be consequences. Have to be. So now we have technology that says there's a device that can be installed in a vehicle that would limit how fast you can go. And I think that's what happens. There's plenty of notification. You can appeal if you want to question one of the tickets have always been a thing, though. Process. We'll make sure. This is another area. But installing this, and if you don't install it, after 45 days, you lose your registration. You should not be on the roads if you don't care about whether or not you're going to kill somebody. And when you hug a mom, lots of moms, as I've had to do over the last few months, who've lost children, that pain never grows away. But they at least have some comfort in their hearts that maybe they can prevent the next family from having to grieve the way they did. Hold on. This is another area where I'm surprised at the controversy around it when it makes so much sense. You think about someone, I'm going to ask these gentlemen here, if someone gets 16 speeding tickets in a year, would you consider that?
All right, so she contradicted herself, right? I just caught it because I'm reading it and I'm catching it, right? So she goes, if somebody gets 16 speeding tickets in a year, right? And a year is like, okay, registration is normally 2 years. All right. I'm reading it, and the law targets drivers who rack up 16 or more speeding violations within 24 months. So now we're at 2 years. You're saying a year, and somebody listening to it is like, it's a year. 2 years is a different game. Now, I don't get speeding tickets like that. I don't get it. So it's not going to affect me at all. It's not going to affect me at all. People I know, probably. But the whole thing for me is, as I mentioned before, you guys are money hungry. You guys are asshole. You guys are dickheads. I think an episode ago I mentioned, hey, they want to install cameras in people's cars. So they were like, we could catch people when they're inebriated. All right. How do you propose that? How can you tell every time somebody enters their car if they're inebriated? Now we're just talking invasion of privacy. Now we're just talking like, hey, we're just going to spy on you a bit. Well, how do I know how long you're spying on me for? That's even better questions to me that I'm like, hey, so as I mentioned, this is not the worst law to go into place. I didn't like the way she understood it. It's only a year. No, it's 2 years, lady. And then it's like, yo, you're just trying to milk more New Yorkers out of their cash, bro. Do you know in Manhattan, if you want to go to the south of Manhattan, you got to pay a toll. Even if you live there, You have to pay a congestion price. You know, in certain parts in the city, they have noise monitors. So they ring you a ticket for your muffler being loud or whatever, which is like, all right, cool. But that's what you guys are doing. That's what you guys are doing. Do you know in Dykeman, thank God, there's this task force. There's a task force that rides around looking for people that have speakers in their car. Jose, I'm going to report you one day. But there's people that's driving around with speakers in their car and they're confiscating the speakers. How the fuck were you able to get that off? How were you able to confiscate speakers from people that purchased it and put it in their car? Give me a ticket for the loud music. Go ahead, go crazy with that. But for you to be like, we're going to take your speaker system. Yeah, fuck out of my face. You can suck my dick with that one. And this is exactly why, as much as I would love to get behind this bill and back it up and be like, hey, this is great, I just can't. I can't because they're always gunning for extra money out of our pockets. It's the most craziest thing to me. So, yeah, I can't do it. In good faith, I can't go and be like, you know what? I side with the governor. I can't side with her. She's an asshole. Like, will all of this new procedure actually benefit New Yorkers? I know you're getting on the safety portion, but financially, will this benefit us as well? Which is, all right, if we're doing all of this stuff, we're putting these cameras in these cars, we're putting speed restrictors on these cars, will that lower my insurance? Not to get the cameras and the restrictor put on my car, but I'm saying because these people that are deemed the problem, which is the reason why our insurance so-called raises up, because that's who you're putting the blame on, will this lower my insurance? If you could tell me this will lower my insurance, then I'll 100% be like, all right, I fucks with it. But until we get clarification like that, it's a money grab. It's a money grab. I feel like every time they talk to us, they're asking for money. They're telling us, hey, man, we're proposing this thing to take money out of y'all pockets. And it's like, all right, we're putting up this new speed rule, which the city limit is 25 miles per hour. Now turn it to 20 miles per hour. And it's like, oh, so you're just fishing for shit. You're all right. You guys know this, like, all right, 25 miles isn't that crazy. Like, okay, people are still speeding. I get that. Because they said at 30 miles per hour, if you hit somebody, you could kill somebody. So it's like, all right, I get that. So 25 miles. So I'm like, what's the excuse now? What's the excuse now? Now you're saying, oh, now people could die at this speed. Anybody could die at any speed. I could hit somebody going 5 miles per hour. They could fucking possibly die if I hit them right. So, yeah, it's just annoying that that's the state that we're in. All right, let's see what else I got. All right. I need Instagram to stop playing with me because it's starting to get me upset now. But because every time I do something on Instagram, it's like it wants to reboot me back to the main page. No, I don't give a fuck about the story that just came out. So there's this story in Florida, which is pretty funny. I saw this come across my stream like a couple months ago. And it goes, a Florida woman receives a citation for using her phone with her right hand. And when the police officer approached her, he was like, hey, I'm pulling you over for having the phone in your right hand. She lifted up her hand and showed that, hey, I don't have a right hand. And it became this whole thing because he still gave her a citation. So I was like, okay, she's going to easily win that in court. This video is going to go viral, which ended up going viral. And they still somehow wanted to take it to court. So it's kind of funny. So let me see if I can find the clip.
Hello, ma'am.
This is the body cam footage.
With the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. This is why you're being pulled over. The city of Lake Worth today, we're doing an operation for distracted driver, and you drove past me holding the phone with your right hand, manipulating that phone. I mean, I saw you with your phone in your hand.
Not.
She just raised her hand.
You want to just call this a day? Or?
I don't want to call it a day. You had a hand up manipulating the phone.
You just said my right hand.
Well, I thought I saw you with your right hand. You had a hand up. The right hand. I saw you manipulate.
So you didn't.
With the right hand, perhaps not.
Why is he doubling down?
You didn't see me with my right hand.
Okay, so are you
saying that you saw me with my right hand?
I know what I just said. I'm asking you now. Did you or not have your phone on your hand?
I did not.
You did not have your phone in your hand?
I did not.
Hand to God, you didn't have your phone in your hand.
Hand to God.
My right hand?
The other hand to God, you didn't have your phone in your hand.
Hand to God.
Cool. You have your driver's license, registration, and insurance with you?
That's pretty funny, bro. And he looked like an idiot when she rose her hand up. It's like, I don't have a right hand. Instead of going like, all right, maybe I ain't see it, and just be like, all right, we could just call it a day. He continued to double down and ID her, give her a citation, give her a court date, and all these things. And it's like, you just couldn't admit that you were wrong. And these are the things that people have an issue with officers. When you just can't admit that you're wrong. You can't be like, hey, I saw something in your right hand, and be like, all right, maybe it was your left hand. No, you already ruined your case with that. That's not going to last in court. So why would you want to take this to court?
Visit shops and how health officers become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on.
He's writing her a ticket, as you can see here.
Enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup. Comcast
You can listen to
powering the engine of modern business.
listen to the radio in your cop car. I don't know. I thought that was frowned upon. I mean, I would if I was a cop.
All right, man. So you're gonna receive a citation for wireless communication device, handheld while driving. We got to put the phone down as we operate a motor vehicle.
Oh, and you put on there that you saw
So
me
my
with
right
my
hand.
right hand holding it.
I
Yeah?
did not put that. No, if you want to take it to
But
court,
that's
We're
what
going
you
to
said
court for
when you
that.
pulled me over.
Yes,
Yes,
that's what I
that
said,
you
yes.
saw me holding my
You're
device.
gonna
with
pull
my
your
right
body
hand.
cam
I'm not
footage.
disagreeing with you. Yes, that's what I said. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So if you want to take it to court,
And that's what you saw.
that's what I said. I said
That's what
yes.
you said you saw.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. If you
Okay.
want to take it to court, option 5 on the back of the ticket, that's how you take that ticket to court. Do you have any questions for me?
No, thank you.
Have a good day.
Because that's what he said. I saw you with your right hand. Once you make that accusation, that assumption, that's what the whole thing is going to fall upon. You can't change the he should be fired for that, for changing the documentation. I seen you with a handheld device. But you said you saw it in my right hand. This deflates your whole conversation. And this is why I love why we're able to record the police. And don't ever let a police officer tell you you can't record them. That's 100% bullshit. Because let's say he didn't have his body cam footage on. Let's say for whatever reason it malfunctioned. Let's say she didn't record her. Make sure she did have a dash cam that would have supported her. No matter what, she could have had meta glasses on and recorded. He may have not known. They were going to go to court and he was going to lie and be like, no, it wasn't her other hand. Then how is she steering the car? So, yeah, that's a whole line of problems right there. He should actually be reprimanded for that. He should have a couple of weeks off without pay for lying like that, for still writing up a fake police report. He should actually be disciplined and fired for that. For writing up a fake police report saying that he saw a phone in her right hand. Jesus Christ, bro. Let's see. Is there any update? This week, the deputy requested that the citation be dismissed, effectively ending the case. So he asked for it to be dropped. I'm reading this more. So like I said, the video went viral and circulated everywhere online, drawing huge criticism, scrutiny over the circumstances of the stop, right? Because if he never said right hand, he's like, yo, I saw a phone in your hand. It's a different question. It's a whole different conversation. But he said right hand. So this week, the deputy requested that the citation be dismissed, effectively ending the case. Yeah, you're going to have to do that. The incident has prompted renewed discussion about the accuracy of traffic stops, observations, and law enforcement's accountability during roadside enforcement encounters. See, if he goes, hey, man, I saw you with a phone in your right hand, she showed her stub, she would have been like, I would have been like, you know what? I'm sorry. I apologize for the pullover. And everybody could have went on with their days. The fact that he doubled down was like, no, I saw something in your right hand. And then he was like, oh, I saw something in your other hand. You mean the steering wheel? That's what you saw, the steering wheel. Because how am I steering the car with only one hand? How am I texting and steering at the same time? That's crazy. So the Palm Beach County Sheriff Office has not publicly announced whether any internal review has been initiated. Corruption regarding the stop. Dismissal closes the citation issued against Thomas stemming from the February traffic stop. See, I think she should take it beyond that, open up an IA case, because if he was lying on something that clearly, yo, it didn't happen. This didn't happen. Like, what are we talking about? And it's like, what else have you lied on? We now have to look at all your cases on such a stupid fucking lie. It's like, whoa, that's a lot. That's a lot, bro. Speaking of a lot, we have our president. I know people hate when I do this. And apparently, we're hosting a UFC event at the White House. And that's pretty crazy. I have to look it up because for whatever reason, it's not there no more. If this is true, that is hilarious. I need to see. I don't see the reports saying that, hey, it's not true. But I saw, oh, it's on ABC News. Yo, this is crazy. So construction underway of the UFC octagon at the White House for Flag's Day fight. When is Flag Day? So let's look it up. Look it up. Look it up. Construction of the Ultimate Fighting Championship octagon is underway at the White House South Lawn ahead of President Trump's planned fights for this summer. This summer, he's doing it for the summer to commemorate the 250th anniversary of the United States. The event dubbed UFC Freedom Fight 250 is set to take place on June 14th, coinciding with the President's Day and Flag Day. Yo, this is fucking hilarious. It shouldn't be hilarious because, like, yo, this is our president, but he is low key. If you really think about it, he's turning into a Street Fighter / Mortal Kombat villain. Because where else do you see that? You only see that in those two games where the Emperor or the person that's in charge of everything is just watch. Like there's a fight where Bison is watching the fight in the middle. That's all he's gonna be missing is a chair in the center with nobody else around him and him just watching the fight. Like there's a scene in the Mortal Kombat game where Shao Kahn is watching you fight in front of him. You're fighting in front of Shao Kahn. And in Street Fighter, there's a scene where you're fighting in front of Bison. And he's enjoying the sports every day. I know this has been repeated before, but it's seeming kind of true. Like, we're slowly becoming that movie Idiocracy. Like, he's literally turning into President Camacho. That's crazy. And I hated that they used the Spanish name for that. Like, the downfall of America will be a Spanish or black president. They love pushing that fucking narrative, right? And President Camacho in that movie was a black man with a Spanish name. So look at that bullshit there. But my son is hosting a UFC fight for the summer. That's what it sounds like. Did it sound like I read that wrong? Because he said summer. He said the summer. Yo, is he going to be at all of them? See, he shouldn't be doing this because the threat level at the White House has been crazy. There's been shootings going on. I just reported on that last week. Like, hey, man, there was a shooter last week at the White House. Yeah, they got him, but still, you're giving more targets. Like, if there's going to be an event, you're bringing a breach of security, you're doing all of this at the White House that you don't even stay at. That's the other crazy part. So it's like, wow, it really says something. And I don't know how to feel about it because that's some fucking villain shit. That's some villain shit. Yeah, that's some villain. Oh my God. Like, I must watch my subjects fight. I don't know, him and Dana White are friends and everything. So it's like, all right, you gave him the exclusive contract to go do this here. And it's like, all right, whatever. And they hired whatever builders union that they just created 4 days ago. So yeah, it's wild. It's a wild. There's probably a bunch of illegal immigrants. Can somebody watch that? Can somebody record that to see how many Spanish people are working there and then check them for the documentation? Now I sound like ICE. See, now when I start sounding like a villain, it's a problem. But yeah, it's crazy. That is crazy. I mean, Honda, maybe you should give them a car. Now, who are they beefing with? Get a North Korean car or get like a Palestinian car. Do Palestinians make cars over there? I don't know. But get a car with the people that America's beefing with right now and just have a fighter beat the shit out of it like a real Street Fighter tournament. Like, all right, you have 1 minute to beat the shit out of this fucking North Korean car or this Cuban car or whatever car you guys want it to be. And yeah, TM. Stop. But yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. And that is the cool report. All right. That is every day. It sounds like a comedy section. Every day our news just gets like, whoa, are we really reporting on this? Like, is this what we're doing right now? That's just wild. It's a wild. That's a wild world we live in, man. Sheesh. You got anything else? Let me see if I got anything else on my docket. It should be a Tesla. Teslas might be hard as shit. You might hurt yourself with a Tesla. Maybe the Plaid. You go beat up a Plaid. Go beat up a Plaid Tesla. You're going to hurt yourself with a Cybertruck. And we're back. All right, my bad. I had to change up the lighting because I ran out of natural sunlight. because I kind of like shooting it with natural sunlight now. So let's get out of that section, and we're gonna go over to the Ask Me a Question section.
Wait, Jose! Jose, I got to tell you something!
All right, where do I want to start? Do I want to start with Jim Jones, Kevin Hart, or Meek Mills? Let's start with Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart. Mr. Hart. You should have just shut up. As somebody that loves comedy, that's been a part of comedy, there is no defending what happened at your show. There's no defending it. There was no way to defend it. Even if you were to explain to people that amongst comedians, this is how we joke around, depending on how you joke around, who you're joking around with, yeah, like, okay. Because when you talk with your friends, some of your jokes that you make with your friends, somebody hearing it from the outside might look at it different. But this is not the case for you. You chose to air this show, a roast that was okay. I would say what you did say, which Tony Hinchcliffe, whatever his name is, Tony Hinchcliffe, I just messed up his last name. He had a decent set until he got to the ending. But if you ask me, it was an okay set. It wasn't the most. This wasn't the set to die on stage for. Like, it really wasn't. It wasn't worth looking at you different. But the conversation with you, sir, has always been that you've been detached from our community for a while. And I don't know why people would expect you to still be attached to our community, because when you start getting money, you start doing like 5 degrees of separation. So it's like, all right, okay. So now it's like, oh my God, you're forgetting where you came from. I mean, there's this joke that's not a joke. And the best way to explain it was next Friday, where his dad's brother used to live in the neighborhood, then he got money and he moved out. And he was like, I know you remember me. I was the toughest. I was the coolest. I also said I would never leave this neighborhood. But once I got money, I got the fuck out. And I never looked back. And people don't get how real that is. That's such a real conversation to have. Like, why would I want to stay? I lost friends that were making money, decided to stay in the neighborhood, and then they died. And it's like, then what is all this hard work for? Like, what is the point of this? I never got the, all right, I'm straying off topic. I apologize. But you should have never went on the Breakfast Club out of all places that wasn't going to save your career. They weren't going to paint you in the best light. And you just messed it up even more. So let's see if I can find any image or audio of that whole thing.
It wasn't a tasteful joke.
All right, there it goes.
Yeah, the George Floyd joke, it wasn't a tasteful joke to our
It's
culture,
also been
to
done
our audience,
a bunch of times.
But our audience that's watching the roast, if you're watching the roast, you get why they're doing it. You get why the racial humor is on the table. Like, it's not, I wasn't shocked. Like, that's what they do. Go look at the Tom Brady one. Like, that's what they do.
I just want to pause this real quick. Racial jokes to be funny. Racial jokes is fun when it's us. Like, not just like black and brown people. When it's just a group of close friends, you can make those jokes because you know your friend. A lot of those times, those jokes don't come with animosity. I think the biggest criticism that he's not realizing and he's not getting, and it was exposed the minute the roast came out, was a lot of the people that wrote the jokes were white people. They were white writers. A whole room of white writers made these racial jokes. A whole team of white writers made these racial jokes. A whole team of them. I heard there was not one person of color in that room. Not that it would have made it any better, but it's like when you have to, like, you really got to sit back and look at it from there. Like, oh, okay. So my other thing would have been like, yo, was the people that were saying the jokes on stage that were getting it from these writers, did they know that they came from a group of white writers? And the George Floyd joke isn't funny because he's been trying to get that joke off for the longest, and it always doesn't do the best. It doesn't do the best. And it's always the same fucking jokes when it comes to George Floyd, which is, I can't breathe. I can't do this. I can't do that. But you make a Charlie Kirk joke. Everybody goes up in arms. You can't say that. He has a family. He has this. He has that. But it's okay with George. But I didn't draw the line with George. I didn't draw the line with Eric. Shit. They were picking on homegirl, saying that about her dead husband. She seemed okay with it. Okay. Nobody said shit. Nobody batted an eye when they were talking about running a train on his dead moms. That's crazy, but okay. At the end of the day, the joke really wasn't tasteful. And you going on that platform, trying to justify it, didn't help you out. See, there's two ways this can go. You could defend it and you could look like an Uncle Tom. I don't think you were trying to look like an Uncle Tom. I'm going to say that right off the bat. I think you were trying to defend comedy. And I understand that. I understand. I'll defend comedy to the end of my life too. I love comedy. There's things that I can say in comedy that if you get offended by, or the joke wasn't for you. But to hide racial shit, as I said in the last episode, to hide racism or to use racism and hide it behind comedy is a complete fucking cop-out. It's a cop-out. A group of white writers are being racist, and motherfuckers ate that up. And I don't know if I finished that thought process just now where I said that anybody else that partook in that roast know that there was a team of white writers in that room. That's the other thing. Would they have still said those jokes? That's why I'm not minding Chelsea Handler saying what she said, but she comes off like I don't want to use this because it's the wrong word, but it's the best word to describe it, as a pick-me. It's like, please, like, give me sympathy for being up there and being called a whore a bunch of times, but understand that I do not stand with those men. I would have got that off your set already. I don't think you needed to have that conversation either, but go ahead. And she went out there and she did an interview and she was like, well, I talked to the girls that they dated and they're really like that. And you want to tell me Tony Hinchcliffe is a racist? I could believe it. I could fucking believe that. And you want to tell me that Shane Gillis is on a power trip? I can believe it. But I've also heard Shane Gillis is nice as hell to people. Nice as hell to people. So I also heard if he wants to feel that way, I totally understand because he came back from being canceled. You know how hard it is to come back from being canceled and be back on top to fucking doing shows or like being the guest spokesperson for shows now? It's like, it's a crazy comeback. It's a wild story. So, all right. So she did these things. Cool. He went into did the interview. He just looked completely dumb. Gary Owen, stop interrupting me. God damn, bro. Yeah, I already know what you're going to say. We're going to circle back to that. So over here defending it.
Arguably had the best set or one of the best sets between Tony and Cheryl.
Cheryl had a good set.
I would say Naeem had a really strong set.
Naeem had a very strong set. I was laughing out loud.
I saw Lizzo set.
Until the joke.
But not even just that joke. I don't like when people joke about violent, tragic death. I liked Pete set, and then I was like, why you had to say about Charlie Kirk?
Pete had a great set too. Pete had a Charlie Kirk joke in it. Yeah. Like, would I tell those jokes? No. But do I get why they're being told? Mm-hmm. Yes. Like, I'm not looking at Pete crazy. I'm not looking at Tony crazy. Like, that's what I know what you're going to do. Mm-hmm. I know your style of comedy. I'm going to appreciate humor.
Yeah.
I don't get affected by the attempt of humor.
He's really defending comedy, not Tony.
In this case, like, do more. It's my production. We're live. The more is what?
It's lying.
Tony Hinchcliffe arguably had
half lying.
The best set or one of the best sets between Tony and Cheryl.
Yeah, pause it again. He's half lying. Yes, it's live in front of an audience. So I think him saying that joke, he just can't go, everybody stop. I will not allow that joke to happen. I get that. All right, the show has to continue going on. It's just the annoying part of that. But it could have been edited out later. That didn't have to hit the mainstream. I'm pretty sure there was jokes that didn't make the cutting board, but that made the cutting board. It's like the MAFTAs, whatever award show it was with the guy with the Tourette's. That wasn't live either. Somebody made the conscious decision to leave it in. And that's what this really comes down to. And Cheryl Underwood didn't stop the show. Cheryl Underwood said, hey, Sherry said, hey, don't forget where you are, because Tony Hinchcliffe made a joke when he was trying to say the N-word, but he said ninjas instead. And I was like, okay. And she goes like, know that you're in LA and they won't let that slide if you say that. And that's how you address it. Something so simple, so easy. All right, cool. But I am with Kev when it comes to defending comedy. Just not that portion of comedy that he's saying. Because to me, it seems like where a lot of these jokes approve, all right, if you didn't approve it, that's just poor management on your end. But if you did approve it, we got to look at you a little bit funny. We got to look at you a little bit different. But Kevin Hart also said something that was absolutely right. There has been other roasts with other people there, and they made those same jokes, and nobody gave a shit. So I was like, okay. But they're bringing it up for Kevin Hart, which brings up another conversation with like, do we judge each other too hard for circumstances that happen every day? Which is, maybe I get into that, maybe I don't. I doubt I'm going to get into it, but it's very interesting. It's very interesting. It's kind of like that joke that Chelsea Handler made about that Dubai trip that they all went on. So it's like, hey, okay. But it's always, to me, when it comes to comedy, you could joke about anything as long as it's funny. It doesn't have to be super tasteful, but if you get a chuckle out of me, I can't say shit. Like, there's jokes out there in the world that's like, that shit ain't funny. Sorry, that shit ain't funny. And then there's some like, that's a little fucked up, but that's funny. So it's like, all right, whatever, man. But yeah, I don't know why he did this to himself. I don't know why he jumped in front of that bullet. I don't know why he did any of the stuff that he did, but sir, that did not help your image. That tarnished your image. You look crazy. You look like a sellout right now. And that's what they're going to say about you. And they're not going to get that. I can hear it clear as day. Other people that love comedy can hear it clear as day. But the people that just watch comedy and listen to be offended or just listen with not knowing the full background of it, it's like they're not going to care. They don't see that you're defending comedy. They see that you're defending a racist. So you should have just never went on that show. And now they're dragging you for it. Now they're going to fucking leave bad reviews on your shows. So, yeah. So let's see what else he said.
You want me to take a live production and stand up and fight Tony or have a reaction? Like, Tony told a joke. It wasn't a tasteful joke to us. We didn't like it. Okay. Hey, man, fuck that joke. We move on. I don't understand why we stand on a hill and it becomes like this big thing of like, oh man, the motherfuckers, they do this and they're attacking the culture. It doesn't have to be that. It literally is either you're a fan of this level of content or you're not. And if you're not a fan, then you don't watch it. Like, what is it that you expect me? You want me to take a live production and stand up and fight Tony or have a reaction? Like, Tony told a joke. It wasn't a tasteful joke.
So, yeah. And then the way they're staring at him in the interview, I'm like, they weren't there to be on your side. They're all judging you. They're all looking at you as much as you thought that Charlemagne was going to come to bat with you, because Charlemagne makes off the fucking radar jokes as well. It's like, yeah, it's okay. But yeah, that was a huge mistake. You totally like fucked up your chances of trying to get anything off of that. All right, next section in the Ask Me a Question section. Meek Mills, how do you feel about Meek Mills being mad at LeBron and Nike over Dreams and Nightmares collab in their commercials? Does he have a reason to be mad? No, he doesn't have a reason to be mad. Why does he have a reason to be mad? He shouldn't even be mad. He shouldn't be in the same conversation with LeBron or Nike. Now, if you're going to sit here and you guys know, I have Meek Mill slander for days. If he was, when I first heard this, right, I did go, well, are they using his beat or are they using his phrase? Because the beat, you're going to have to chalk it up to, all right, the producer that created the beat. What kind of deal did they strike? Are you getting a check from any of this? No. Like, what did you want? Did you want to be part of the collab? You wanted to be in the video? You wanted to be in the pictures? You wanted the sneaker? What did you want? What did you want here out of this situation? So if we're just talking a key phrase, dreams and nightmares, and we're talking just
Ain't this what they
that,
been waiting for?
and we're just talking that, then I 100% agree with you. But we're just talking the font, dream and nightmares, right? No, you can't do that. You can't TM that catchphrase, dreams and nightmares. You can't. It's been around way longer than your song has been. The fact that you're still trying to capitalize off a song that you came out mad long ago still is wild to me. Like, don't get it twisted. Get your money from royalties. If they sampled your song, go ahead, get your money. If they use your lyrics, go ahead, get your money. If they got a model that looked like you, go ahead, get your money. But if we're just talking the words, dreams, and nightmares, why are we having a conversation with you? Who are you for me to talk to about the words, dreams, and nightmares? Like, that's crazy. It can't be trademarked. All right. Yeah, I heard that too. It can't be trademarked. It's like, at what point did we start questioning some of you artists? At what point did we start questioning your education system? That's an even better question. At what point did we start looking at you guys like, do you really think you coined the phrase dreams and nightmares? You thought you were in a studio one day and he's like, what's the name of the title? You know what this sounds like? This kind of sounds like it's my dream, but I'm going to speak about my nightmares as well. That's the name. That's the name. That's the name of the song. Dreams and Nightmares. Now, I won't take away that song is fire. I love that song. To me, that's 1 out of 3 hits that he has for me. He only has 3 hits for me. I know you guys are gonna be like, whoa, you were bugging out, but I'm being fucking for real. Yeah, I think to me, he only has 3 hits. I know right now you're like,
go back to your 9 to 5, bitch ass nigga.
No, I won't. So, yeah.
Okay, let's go.
I don't know what he's trying to get out of this conversation, what he's trying to prove out of this conversation. I think for him to even think that he might have a legal matter with LeBron James and Nike at the same time, I think he loses that. I think he goes in depth for that. I think he already doesn't. He's not even putting out music like that. So what money does he have to even do the legal fees with? I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. I don't know why he thought that would be a good fight for him. I don't know why he thought that was smart. That girl's wild. Okay, my bad. Let's see. So, it's a sneaker. The Nike Zoom LeBron 23's Luxe Dream and Nightmares. You ready to lose it with the Luxe part. Them shits look ugly. The shirt looks very basic. It looks very LeBron-ish. I'm not paying $55 for that. So he's just going crazy for the phrase, dream and nightmares. Okay. Bro, y'all gotta stop. The song is from 2012, bro. How long can you keep banking off of that? So he wrote, so Nike just gonna take my whole brand and mash it up with LeBron. What is this? Why wouldn't anybody holler at me about this? I thought the sneaks was fake. What's up with this? I thought that tweet, you should lie right now and be like, nah, that tweet is fake. That's AI. Somebody hacked my account. So the phrase dream and nightmares is closely associated with Meek Mill's career. This is very true. Remains one of the most recognizable works. Very true. From his album became the anthem in sports culture over the past decades, frequently played in arenas. Absolutely true. We will give him all of this. All right. But the phrase, no, sir. When they start playing your shit, I think this fight could actually hurt him. This fight could definitely hurt him. They could just stop playing this music at their arenas. Yeah, I would rethink this. I wouldn't continue this fight. Yeah. You should pump your brakes. All right, man. I'm going to get out of that subject, and I'm going to go to another delusional rapper out there. Let me stop. Because Jim Jones thinks I don't like him. I love his music. Jim Jones thinks I do not like his music, but he ended up calling out Cameron. And it got put into perspective for me as well. Because I said, Cameron versus Jim Jones in a versus isn't bad. Will Cameron ever accept it? Probably not. But at first, when I heard this, I was like, I think Jim Jones has a fighting chance. I think Jim Jones might win. Now, people are saying Jim Jones doesn't have a fight in hell, but I think they're absolutely wrong with that. I think Cam wins, but it's not as far. It's not a blowout. It's not as far as you think it's going to be. I think if they were to go 10 songs, it might be 8 Jim, 10 Cam. So it's like, I don't know what you guys want. It's not going to be an easy fight for Cam. It is going to be a long fight for Jim, but it's not going to be an easy out for Cam. It's like, I don't know why people are disrespecting Jim. And I don't know why I just thought that Cam didn't have a discography until I was reminded. And I was like, oh no, Cam's going to win, but it's not an easy out. It's not going to be like, hey, this is what you got. All right, that's cute. So yeah, no. See, when we start talking about music, you got to start thinking about shit like this with Cameron. And this is not an easy win. Not at all. No. It's hard. That's hard. Even this one's hard. It's a hard one. It's hard to deal with. This is hard to deal with too. Maybe this one. Maybe. And Jay's on the song. Hard, long day. And then it's a long fucking day, bro. You are my crutch when I need. But for Jim got this one in the top. This is not a win, but he still has this. Not that one, I'm sorry. One of his newer joints. This is a little bit of a tough one. Not a hard one. And this one. Oh, this shit sounds crispy.
I get on extra grind. I get on extra grind. I get on extra grind. When it's repping time. When it's repping time. When it's
That's a tough one. And this one. Everybody only has it with this one.
And you can't see my eyes unless my head is bent. You dig?
You also got this one. This is his crew. hard day. For me, he went with this one. That's for like only people that are from the city. Depends on the crowd too. Then this one. They had to change it up. Don't tell me I gotta do the real one. Fuck that, we're doing the real one. I had to do the real one. I'm not gonna do the dub. This is so hard. I love this song. I played this shit for that whole summer.
It's rotten apples. Crime wave.
Heat makers.
It's not an easy fight. It's not an easy fight. If this doesn't make the cut, it's because Spotify said something. But it's gonna be on YouTube, so FYI, FYI, FYI. But it's not an easy fight. It's not an easy fight. And if there were just more options for the instrumentals for him, I would have had way better songs to play than what they allowed me to play. So yeah. As long as there's no Dipset on the table, I think, hey, this is a good fight. Because then if Cam somehow gets to be able, I could play all the Dipset stuff, which I think he could because he is the leader of Dipset. Jim Jones loses. That's an avalanche loss. That's such a bad loss. Because then I'm playing his music. I'm playing crunk music. I'm playing all that stuff. So it's like, all right. So yeah, man. Damn, I miss playing music in this podcast. But it's like, at first I was with Jim. I was like, okay. And I like Jim Jones. I stay there all the time in this show. Like, On My Way to Church is one of my favorite albums. Lovely Days Like This. I Wish. With My Dips. Or all the Stag Bundles mixtapes that they did. The 7 Day Theory. Yeah, man. All the Bird Gangs. Members of Bird Gang. Yeah. All those songs. NOE. Fire, 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 fire. So it's like, okay. But sad to say, I got Cam winning that. I don't have Jim winning that at all. So yeah, it's no bueno, my friend, no bueno. But if it's all for a bag, then I can see Jim Jones doing it and happily to lose it and then saying he got robbed. So I think from here we're gonna go to the next section, which is a part-time levels of section where people like to submit their questions about their relationship, and we try to give them a hand the best that we can. And they can either take the information, not take the information, do whatever they want with the information. It is not our duty to please that booty, but I just need you guys to understand I am just a guy with a microphone and a camera in front of his face. So just let your soul glow. Just let your soul glow. Just let your soul glow. Just let your soul glow.
Me and my girl are in an argument over finances.
Hey.
And I'm telling her since the economy is going into the red, it's hard to keep up with bills and other luxuries.
Oh. That's kind of simple. All right. Let me read that again. I didn't prep for that. Wow. Me and my girl are in an argument over finances, and I'm telling her since the economy is going into the red, it's hard to keep up with the bills and other luxuries. I think I think that's kind of easy to understand. That's not really crazy. I know there was more to this question. Yes, there it goes. I'm tripping. I'm like, it didn't fully load in. So, all right. So, me and my girl in an argument over finances, and I'm telling her ever since the economy is going into the red, it's hard to keep up with bills and other luxuries. You mean like going out and doing stuff like that, like to going to the movies, going out to dinner, buying things like that, right? So you're explaining this to her, and I guess the other half of the question was, she kind of isn't getting it. Like she's not acknowledging it. See, the common phrase is normally said when people go through these conversations, when you're doing something for somebody else, they tend to go, well, I never asked you to do that. And that is the most selfish, thoughtless answer to give. Now, you could go and your partner could look at you and be like, well, we should be fine without it. I understand. Things are tough. We got to tighten our belts. What can I do to provide? What can I do to this? What can I do to that? What can I do to that? But somebody that uses the cop out of, well, I never asked you to do that, they're an asshole. They are an asshole. So she's saying that, and she's really just...
You sound like a bunch of gibberish.
That's what it sounds like. Like, to use that response after you just gave such a real thing, you were vulnerable, you were like, hey, man, I'm struggling here. We're going to have to cut back a bit. Because you're not lying. We are in a recession. Everybody likes to pretend we're not in a recession. But whenever there's things like crazes, like with the watches, or what was the last thing before that, like the Labubus and all these things, those are recession indicators. Gas is at $4.50 a gallon right now. Still to this day. So you telling me you don't know that? I can mention my bills here. Yo, like my gas bill is up crazy. The electricity bill is about to go crazy because the summer's here. The heat bill is going crazy because it was like, yo, like for water is crazy. So I used about $200 worth of water. They're charging me $300 extra to dispose of it. That's an insane markup. That's just such an insane markup, bro. So I get it. If anybody cares, Tupac cares. So yeah, that's such a foul answer. I feel like a little bit hit on this too, because it's like, I've heard that before. And it's like, you don't get the idea that, hey, I know I don't have to do something, but I like to do this. I like to I'm what people would call, let me stop. I am, my form of affection or the way I show love is through money. So if I could buy things, all right, cool. This is what you need. Here you go. All right. I saw this for you. I thought of you. I got this for you. I do that shit all the time. You can ask anybody that knows me. Hey, I saw this. This is cool. And who would this benefit? This will benefit you. And then instead of being like, all right, we could tighten our budget. We could figure it out. Or we could look for other venues or revenue to make money, whatever. We could sell things, do things, other things, and blah, 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 blah. I never asked you to do that. It's such an asshole response. And I'm going to say that you are a decent man. I don't know you. I can't call you a good man because I don't know how you responded to it. I'm going to slap the shit out of me. Stop. But yeah, consider that like one of your first red flags, to be honest. It's like, it's just not you spending the money. It's us spending the money. We are spending the monies. And going out is a luxury. Buying things, not food, but like clothing, name brand shit, it's a luxury. All right? It's a luxury. Name brand junk food, like cereal, soda, that's a luxury. Going to the movies, that's not $5 a night. It's a luxury. Going on trips, it's a luxury. Not everybody's entitled to it. There's people in the world that's never been anywhere in their life. And it's like, yeah. And it's because of where they're at financially. Now, I could sit here and be like, well, you didn't make the right financial choices. And that would be me being an asshole. Because my generation has been promised a lot. Not that we're entitled to a lot, but we're not going to be given anything. But my generation has been promised a lot. We were promised houses by this age. We all grew up with the same idea. We should have a house by 25, 30. We all grew up with like, hey, we should be out of our parents' house by this age. By this age, I should have a family. I should have this. I should have this. I should have that. I should have this. And it's like a lot of people aren't even there yet. They're still struggling. They went to school. They went to college. They put themselves in school financial debt for a job that doesn't exist, in a job market that doesn't exist, for a job market that's not hiring, a housing market where the house is 300% over the fucking normal profit. Houses that used to go for 60 to 100,000 is now like, all right, 300, 400, 800, 900, $1 million. $1 million for a regular house in Queens is crazy right now. So it's like, whoa. what do you want me to do here? But you letting your partner know, like, hey man, things is gonna be a little bit tight, but don't worry, we're gonna get through it. And we're just gonna have to cut back on things that you normally like. Well, I never asked you to do that. Okay. Thanks for being helpful. So yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. But yeah. Good luck, sir. Good luck to you, good sir. Let's see. Next question, please.
My partner is into race play in the bedroom.
Hey.
And I told my girlfriends about it. They did not approve because
long
he's not
run?
100% black. Only
Oh,
half,
what the
but
fuck?
I'm a full black woman. Are they looking too deep into this? Or am I in the wrong?
Kevin Hart? Stop. Hold on. Let me read that out loud. That was a little bit wild there. My partner is into race. I feel like this whole conversation has been about race. This whole episode has been about two types of racing, being racist and cars racing. I don't know. That's just me. That's the crazy link that I'm making right now, but whatever. So the question goes, my partner is into race play in the bedroom. And I told my girlfriends about it. They do not approve because he is not 100% black. Only half, but I'm a full black woman. Guess what race he is? Stop. Are they looking too deep into this or am I wrong? First mistake you did was, a lot of girls make this mistake. Keep your fucking bedroom details or like certain relationship shit to yourself. Because they are not 100% in the know of your relationship. They are not. Nobody's ever 100% in the know of your relationship. You can say as much as you want. You can talk to this person every day. There are certain key details that people leave out of the conversation. So, yeah. I'm being dead serious. We could guess what race it is because if he was mixed with Spanish, Indian, Chinese, and you're saying there's race play in the bedroom, I am not assuming any of what I can only speak for myself. I have never been in the bedroom and been like, can I call you something racist? I've never done it because guess what? Experience racism in real life. So I'm not trying to get called that in the bedroom. Like I'm really not. So yeah, so that lets me know that is a Caucasian that you're dealing with. Only half. See, whatever he's saying, you do have to look at it like, okay, what do you mean by that? So the reason I say that is that what you have to, I wish you gave an example of what he said. So I could be like, no, those are his ancestors. That is that is his great grandpappy talking to you. He's like, hey, get off my lawn. Like, depending on the type of racism, you could tell what decade they're talking from. So yeah. And he's only half, but you got to figure out, I need more context clues. Is he more heavy on one side than the other? That's important. Like, does he look like a J. Cole or does he look like a Logic? See what I did there? So you look at J. Cole, be like, that's a black man. You look at Logic, you're like, I don't know what the fuck that is. So yeah, that's what you have to, I need something like that to gauge it by. But no, I don't think they're in the wrong if you gave them more detail of what he's saying. Like if he's saying, like if he's going like, did you meet productivity today? So it's like, hold up, what the fuck are you talking about? That's like, yo, I'm trying to think now. Which white girl would I allow to say that to me? Which white girl? Is there a white girl that I would allow to talk to me crazy? Is there a white girl? Is there a white girl out there? See, I can't even say that one because she's been on, I'm like Riley Reid, but Riley Reid's on camera and having a whole fucking song saying the N-word. So it's like, all right, okay, no. So yeah. Could Riley call me something? Probably. I know. That's me being a sellout. I know you guys are like, well, that's different. I know. She's like, get over here, you beaner. First of all, that's not even my culture. Like, how many grapes did you pick today? I'm like, hold up, bitch. How many grapes can you put in your mouth? Hold up. I have 2 for you. Yes, I'm referring to my joints as grapes too. I don't care. All right. She's going to tell me it's big. Either way, I'm fine. I feel like, oh my God, it's a mouthful. I'm like, yeah. what would be so vile that she could tell me that I would be like, get the fuck out? Like, we would have to be in the middle of a session. Like, she would have to be like fucking me good and crazy. And then she would have to like look me in my eyes and be like, my ancestors sneezed on your ancestors and wiped them out.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
Fuck. Like, to this day, my ancestors and my people of this day are kicking your people out of the country.
Holy mother of God!
Still coming. Still coming. I'm still coming. I might lay there a little. I'm sorry. There's, what other white girl would I do that? And Jennifer Love Hewitt? Look, I'm naming oldies. The newer girls, they can't do that to me. Like Sabrina Carpenter can't say that shit to me. Fuck out my face. What's the other girl with the big titties? Sabrina Contractor can't say that shit to me either. Fuck that. The one that's in Euphoria, whatever the fuck her name is. Sweeney Todd? Yeah, her. Yeah, she can't say that to me. Sorry, she's not cute enough for that. She's not. And technically, for my culture, any culture could say that to me. And I'm like, all right. Like, hey, did you cut my grass? Like, see, I was going to say, like, do you mean with my teeth? Like, did you trim my bushes? Like, I just sharpened my teeth today, man. I'm ready to go. But yeah, no, I don't think they're in the wrong. Unless you're cool fit. I guess this depends on your humor level. Back to the humor level and comedy level. If you're okay with it, if that's your bag, maybe that's your bag. That's what you're into. Maybe you're into being degraded. So, yeah. Other than that, I don't have a good enough answer for me to tell you, do it or don't do it. Do whatever you want, all right? Do whatever in your freak flag. Let your freak flag wave, all right? So, thank you for submitting your questions. Hopefully, I was a help. Probably not. And keep submitting questions to nospecialcharacterspod@gmail.com, at onmycoolj.com, and at Gmail. Both of them at Gmail. So, and we'll keep answering your questions as worse as we can. All right. So I'm going to get out of this section. And where are we going to? And the finale. I just want to say thank you to everybody that made it this far. Hopefully, there's a lot going on in the background. It's the summer. I had people yelling in the background. I had music bumping in the background. I got my fish tack in the background. I got my fan in the background. Hopefully, none of this can be heard. I swear to God, it better not be heard. So, I just want to say thank you to everybody that supports this, everybody that shows love. Thank you to everybody that just genuinely looks out. Thank you to everybody that's been sharing the IG posts, reposting the IG posts, liking the IG posts, and all that stuff. I really mess with you guys heavy on that. And shout out to you guys out there doing your thing. Shout out to you guys doing your thug dizzle. Shout out to you guys setting up goals, hitting goals, making goals, being the goal. And if you happen to fall, in the great words of Meek Mills, I need you to get your punk ass back up. The world does not stop because you stumble or fall, all right? It does not. It got to keep on going, and you got to keep on going, all right? I need you guys to understand that. There is no other option but to win. I even want my enemies to win. Not near me, but go win somewhere else, all right? But go ahead and win. There is no other option. I'm being dead serious on that. What are you going to do? Lose? What are you going to give up? What does that get you? That gets you nothing and nowhere fast. So I need you guys to keep doing your thing. Keep doing. Just when you think you can't do it no more, just when you think you don't want to do it no more, just do it. Keep moving. Keep pushing, all right? Being stagnant kills. Being in the same place kills, all right? I need you to keep always wanting for more, thriving for more. As I mentioned earlier in the show, there's luxuries out there in the world that you want, that you need. You might need that $300,000 fucking Lamborghini. You might want that $85,000 watch that I wish I had on my wrist right now. I really do want that watch. You might want the trip somewhere beautiful with clear blue water, with coconut drinks and white sandy beaches or black sanded beaches or whatever. Or you just want some beaches in your life. Like, come on, son. there's things that you want. So I suggest you strive for it. And you're not going to get it sitting down, all right? You're sitting at home, sitting on your couch, when you could be signing up to go to Everest right now, all right? So I am your host. You know the name. You know the name. I know the name.
On my cool J.
AKA.
Go back to your 9 to 5, bitch ass nigga.
AKA.
Wait, Jose!
AKA the Big M Little. And thank you. Thank you guys. Seriously, I thank you guys. I really do thank you guys for being a part of this journey. I'm working right now to go work with other people this summer to put out more content with friends and family. And hopefully you guys are there for the ride. I'm going to start reaching out to other people that have not been on this platform to do this show too. And we're just going to see how it works out. All right. For my weekend, what I have planned left, hopefully you guys got something planned still going on and planned for the next weekend. Because I am going to be busy for the next couple of weeks. I'm trying to go to Cars and Donuts in the city with the Porsche people. And I'm going to bring my Porsche scarf with me so I look like I fit in. When they're like, where's your Porsche? I'm just going to point to any random Porsche. But I really came there on a bus pass. And hopefully they don't see through my disguise. And maybe somebody could take a picture of me while I'm in Soho. Like, hey, at the Porsche meeting. So I'm out of here. Peace out.
Deuces.